Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome back, gamers, to the second video of the War in the East series. The first video was about introductions and planning. This video is going to be all about rounds downrange. War in the East turns can take a while, so I'm going to do some of the moves off camera, some of the battles off camera, but we'll capture most of the good stuff. I won't capture the rail movement and the first airstrikes on the Soviet airfields. That takes a while as it processes, so that will be off camera, and I'll pull up the results so that we can take a look at the aftermath. We're going to work our way north to south, starting with Army Group North, and then center, and then south, with south being our main line of effort, as we talked about last video. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here, Bomb Airfield Mode. I'm going to click this button, and then I'll get right back to you. Welcome back. So, the airstrikes on the Soviet air bases has completed. I had this button here selected. I clicked AI, activate AI to fly these missions, and it took about 3 or 4 minutes to process. And you can see the airfields that are highlighted in red, the hexes that are highlighted in red, is where the airfields were bombed. And we'll zoom out. That's a little bit much. Yeah, you can't see the hexes at that point. So we'll zoom one in. So you can just see the scope and the depth that these airstrikes affected in the Russian airspace. Very impressive. What's even more impressive, if you come over here to info screens, click that, and this button here, show losses screen. We'll take a quick peek. So for this, so far at this very early going, the first phase, the airstrikes, you can see the losses for this turn, and we have air losses selected down here for type of losses, and it's overwhelmingly advantageous for the Germans. Axis losses you can see up here: level bombers 7, fighter bombers 1, fighters 5. For total losses of 13. Soviet losses 1,994 aircraft. And historically, these, about probably 95-99% of these were caught on the airstrips, on the airfields and hangars, and they really had no chance. So this is incredible surprise attack for the aircraft. The Russians are postured on the ground, knowing that the Germans had built up 6 million men along the front, but for some reason the aircraft were caught on the airfields to such a dramatic effect that for the first weeks of the war in the East, the Soviets really didn't have much air cover, and that was crucial, because we'll see during combat resolutions that during a battle, if there are aircraft close enough to the hex, they will add their support to the combat value for the defender and for the attacker. So with pretty much the Soviet Air Force out of the way, it's going to be much easier for the German ground forces to conduct the offensive. Alright, so with the airstrikes out of the way, we'll deselect that by clicking on the move mode. So let's get started. We're going to attack with Army Group North first, and you can conduct a hasty attack or a deliberate attack. The hasty attack, just as it implies, not being deliberate about your attack, but seeing initiative, maybe not committing your forces as effectively as possible, but wanting to conduct the attack as rapidly as possible, catch the enemy off guard. So might not have as much planning involved, or support, artillery support, air support going into that attack, the deliberate attack. More planning, more coordination with air and ground forces, so you can bring more combat power to that deliberate attack versus the hasty attack. So with that, we're going to be doing a lot of hasty attacks in the early going, when we can identify weakened Russian formations, and when we're pretty sure that we're not going to get a favorable result with a hasty attack, we'll go deliberate. Deliberate attacks take more of the movement, and it exhausts more of the attacker's ability to conduct future combats that turn. But if you really want to clear a hex or get a favorable result, we'll be doing deliberate attacks. Alright, so let's start. I'm going to click off of here. We'll zoom in. Alright, first rounds getting fired, other than the air attacks, will be, you see up here, this is the counter that's selected, 291st Infantry Division. We recognize that is just a security regiment. Really doesn't pose much of a threat, so we will do a hasty attack. And what you see up here is the combat resolution. It pops up for a little bit, and you can see pretty quick the attack, the damage, the losses for both the attacker and the defender. And we got a result of a retreat. I wanted to be able to route that unit, but we're not worried about that too much. And I'm going to go about doing these first several infantry divisions to clear the way for the Panzer Corps behind them. So without further ado, let's continue with that was a nice result, surrendered, but that was just a border, more or less garrison troops. So I'm going to press shift, and you can see the icon changes a little bit. That's a hasty attack, and this is going to be deliberate. So we want to move this Russian infantry division out of the way, so we're going to go deliberate. Another retreat. They lost 1,197 men to our 65. Not bad. So that's one hasty attack, one deliberate, two hasties and one deliberate. So you can see these turns are a week long, so it's representing days of fighting, 7 days of fighting. So that's why this infantry division can do that many attacks. And it's fully rested. You can look over here, probably 200% with supplies, 125 for fuel, and 99 for ammunition, because they're oversupplied. The fuel dumps are brimming over, ammo dumps brimming over for this offensive. So tons of supplies to burn in the first weeks of the attack. So this infantry division right now has a lot of stamina, and it can do a lot this first week of the war. So we're going to advance up here, do some more hasties. You can have the aircraft coming in. It sounds like there's still some Soviet aircraft, that green arrow, coming from this airfield right here, this air base. We're able to provide some support for this infantry division, as well as our own aircraft staged back here and here. And the game manages that all behind the scenes for you. You don't have to select the aircraft to support these ground attacks. Alright, so we can go north or east. I just want to get a little bit of a corridor formed here, and so I'm going to move up, get another hasty attack in, and we were able to rout that 10th Infantry Division because it was attacked at least a couple times there. So it's out of the picture right now, and you can see these strips, these black stripes across the counters. That indicates routed units streaming back to the rear, trying to regroup, trying to reform, so they don't present any obstacles, and if you move next to them, they will continue to fall back further. Alright, so we're getting down to only 2 movement factors left, so there's not much more this infantry division can do. It's done a lot already. And these hexes are 10 miles across, so that's 10, 20, 30. We already have a 30-mile gap far at the very north here. So we're going to push up. And here's its parent corps. We can come over here, and that is 26 Corps. And then you can right-click to get further information on the headquarters. These are supporting elements, like battalion, company-sized, that are not represented on the field, but they are accounted for during combat resolutions. You can see the attached support, which this Corps headquarters has. It has the 291st, 61st, and 217th Infantry Divisions under its command. And there's a bunch of other information here for the headquarters, but we won't get too much into that right now. Let's keep attacking. And you can see I have the headquarters, the Corps headquarters selected. The blue highlights around the counter indicate that it's in supply, and it also indicates, when they highlight it like that, that those are the divisions under this Corps' command. So there's 2 more that this Corps has under its command, and you can see there's a lot that goes on, so these turns take a while. So we'll do some more attacks here together, and then off camera I'll conduct some more attacks along this front. So the plan is to push a few more of these infantry divisions off their dug-in positions, and then roll up the front as best we can, with going north to south to free up these other friendly divisions that are adjacent to the enemy, so that they're not wasting ammo, wasting fuel, attacking straight on. We're going to have certain infantry divisions here do a lot of the grunt work to open up the front for their buddies. So I'll demonstrate that. This looks like this Soviet division is going to be a little bit of a problem, so I'm going to deselect this stack so only this division is selected. We're going to do a deliberate attack just to push it off and disrupt it so that it's not going to defend so well the next time we attack it. Now look at that. That was a deliberate attack, and we only had 1.46 odds. So there's a lot of fog of war. These combat values are representative of what we as the Germans know about the Russians, based on being adjacent to them for a while, attacking them, patrols. It's all notional in the game. So we thought we'd probably have a good odds against this infantry division, but they held out. So not all easy. Wasn't all roses for the Germans the first week. Wow, I've played this turn quite often, and yeah, the Soviet division is holding out. Unfortunately, that's 2 deliberates, so I'm already exhausting this infantry division, and these are precious turns for the Germans. You really want to get the best results. I don't want to commit the 2nd division to this. I may have to, and it's not... Wow. So that was pretty cool. I mean, historically, the Russians were extremely dogged. They fought fanatically for the motherland and fought to the last man, fought to the last bullet. You read so many that's representative in so many accounts, the books I've read. So that division held out against 3 deliberate attacks, and then finally it was routed. But they probably fought to the last man, the last bullet there, and that was a really well defended. That hex was really very well defended, and they were in a marshland, so it wasn't the best for the attacker. So I'm going to move in. I don't think I'll have enough to do one more hasty attack with this infantry division. We'll move here. And I'm just going to be repeating this along this front. We'll do a few more, and then we'll do a lot of this off camera, and then we can see the results, and we'll come back to it. But let's do another one. All right, so this infantry division was not committed, so I'm going to move up into the swamp. Make sure I deselect their sister division that they were just fighting. Now, this shouldn't give us much trouble. Yep, that was just a security regiment. Easily dismissed. So, pushing forward. And I'm going to bring the Corps up, because the Corps provides those, what we saw a little bit a while ago, those battalions that are factored into combat resolutions. So we'll get her, move it up there. And we're going to do a deliberate, because the Juju's in the air. I mean, these Russians are defending well right now. Yeah, only a retreat. We lost 100 men, they lost 871, but Russians have men to spare. The Germans do not. So we'll move down. We're going to kick this one away again. Deliberate. Until I get a better warm and fuzzy in these attacks, then I'll probably continue to do some deliberates. But we'll push up here, put some pressure on. We're already at a headquarters, a Soviet headquarters. And I don't think... Yep, we can move them, that division, one more. Alright. All that for one infantry corps of 3 divisions. And we have blown open a hole here, but there's a lot of reserves, a lot of Russian formations that we're going to encounter, not just along the front. Alright, we'll do one more corps here. You can see that the 31st Panzer Corps, their divisions are nestled in against the front, but guess what? These guys, the 31st Panzer Corps, is not going to see action on this front. These are our candidates to get on our railroad and head all the way south. As we talked about in my first video, we're going to strip a Panzer Corps from Army Group North, and these are the guys. So we're not going to worry about them. So we're just going to select the 269th Infantry Division, do another hasty, kick it out of the way, another swamp, lots of swamps. They surrendered, move up, and I'm going to hasty attack, because you see the triangles in the top left? That gives an indication of their readiness and condition of the formation. Green is the best. Orange is, it's probably lower on ammo, lower on supplies, disrupted from combat. So I don't believe it's going to defend as best as it could. But again, fog of war, we're going to push with a hasty attack. Alright, got a retreat, that's good. We just want to continue to pry open this front, north to south, move up. We have, let's go to map info, hide the units. Here's a major river you can see right here. That's the Niemen River. So we're not going to attack north to south as I would like to attack down here. We're going to push east. Another hasty attack. Alright. Retreat. That's alright. Not the best. We'd like some routes here, but we're going to do a deliberate. See, we know, you can see down there as we hover over, we have identified the 125th and 11th Rifle Division and a Rifle Corps that the Soviets have there. Sometimes when you move up against an enemy stack, if you don't know much about them, you haven't fought them, or you haven't been next to them for a little while, it'll be an unknown formation there. But we're going to deliberate attack these guys. Look at that. All right. Routed them. That is good news. And we are getting, this division is getting pretty exhausted. I'm going to move. See, I want to move into this hex, but movement factor wise, instead of moving through marsh into woods, go up to the clear and come down, because this division, even though across the river, is exerting zone of control. So we're going to do that. Alright. Those are the two panzer divisions that are not going to fight on this front. And we have the 1st Infantry Corps hanging back here that we're going to push up and continue the assault. And I think I'll stop here and do the rest off camera. We will do off camera up until right about here, till we reach 6th Infantry Corps, and then we'll see what the result is after I conduct all these attacks along this front. Great, see you in a little bit. Welcome back. Alright, we're at our northernmost advance. You can see we're starting to push off the front, heading north and east. These infantry divisions have gone about as far as they could. The good news is we got across the Dubsya, got a beachhead here. At least 2 infantry divisions are across. That's good. 1 small river down, many more to go. And as you can see, the results were pretty good. Not spectacular, but good. We have a bunch of routed Soviet formations, retreating, withdrawing in great disorder to the east, but there are plenty more where those came from. And we'll move down here. Unfortunately, in prior playthroughs, I was able to take Kaunas on turn 1. I did a couple deliberate attacks to no avail. Soviets held strong in Kaunas. Depending on the sequence of attacks and the retreating Soviets and the dispositions, I guess it can vary. So Kaunas was only held by a broken infantry division, and there was some aircraft in Kaunas in my last playthrough, and it took it. It was like an open city. It was vacated. So much different story here. So that's gonna be a pain, because that's gonna have to time and effort, resources, manpower spent to take Kaunas on turn 2. I could commit, which I haven't done yet. I wanted to record this. I haven't committed the 39th Panzer Corps yet, and the 56 Panzer Corps. 39th is going to go east and south to form that. Click out of here so we don't get distracted by the shading. To form that pincer movement that at its easternmost encircle, the farthest east that encirclement was right outside of Minsk, and from the south and north, Panzer Corps met right around here, and we're trying to achieve that as well. As you can see, the infantry divisions, the southernmost divisions of Army Group North and the northernmost divisions of Army Group Center teamed up, and they did pretty well here. We almost, I won't say almost, Vilnius is there for the taking. Usually Vilnius has to fall on turn 2, but I think, well, we're going to try. We're going to try with these motorized divisions to take Vilnius next. But the corridor is forming pretty good. I did strip the 31st Panzer Corps. I railed it all the way down here. You can still see the railroad icons. They're going to have to detrain, and their movement is going to be greatly reduced. Probably only going to be able to move a couple hexes once we detrain. But the great thing about using rail movement is I haven't used any fuel and no supplies, so they are going to be completely fresh coming off the train. But they won't see any action for one turn, so that combat power has not been projected onto the Soviets. So it's a little bit of a loss there, but I want to try this strategy of reinforcing Army Group South and really handed it to the Russians down in this area of operations and making it our main line of effort. Should be fun. Alright, so we'll go back up here. Scroll back up. What else caused concern? Oh, just something I'll point out. As the pocket forms, I'm going to defend very lightly. As you can see, there's a 20-mile uncovered, well, zone of control are exerted into these two hexes, but it's largely uncovered. Same here and same here. I'm just shifting, leapfrogging infantry divisions around the pocket. I don't want to engage these formations because I want to encircle them. I don't want to fight them head on. That's just a waste of ammo, a waste of men, material. So just leapfrogging them around to form that corridor, the inner part of the encirclement, to help out the panzer divisions. And I'm going to do the same thing to the south. Just going to leapfrog these infantry divisions around once we break out here as we head north and east to meet up at Minsk. Alright, so first things first, we are going to commit, what was it, the 56th? Yep, 56 Panzer Corps. You can see that there is an infantry division that's attached to the Panzer Corps. I'm going to make an admin move to attach that to this infantry division here. What is it, the 290th, to an infantry corps, and not way down the panzer division. To do that, you can go to a headquarters. You right click and let me pick a division. Right click on that. Then you can select right here. You can see it's 56 Panzer Corps. You click there and you can select a different headquarters for that division, which I will do, but it costs admin points and you only get 30 per turn. And that's displayed right here. You can see I have 12. So where did the others go? Well, I had to reassign the 31st Panzer Corps to Panzer Group 1 here in Army Group South so that they would be in supply, because they were part of Panzer Group 4. So that took a lot of admin points, 18 to be precise. 18 plus 12, 18, 20, yeah, that's 30. Alright, so where are we going to go next? Alright, let's commit the 56th. Planning we talked about in the first video was to establish at the end of the day, at the end of 1941, as winter approaches, somewhere along Novgorod line. But without that extra Panzer Corps, I might have been a little ambitious thinking I could reach that. Because you have the Daugava River issuing out of Riga. That's a major river, and I usually on turn 1 I can, with at least 1 or 2 panzer divisions, I can get a bridgehead over that river, but I don't think it's going to happen this time. But that's all right. We're not shooting for Leningrad in 1941. But I do want to gain as much ground as I can and start pushing these disrupted units back even further. All right. Let me click here, zoom in. All right, who's going to be the first? I usually start with the motorized, because I save those precious panzer divisions for the very last, once everything is cleared, because a lot of fuel expenditure, and they don't want to lose tanks. So it looks like we could come up here. That route would take us up. We could flush out that disrupted unit and the headquarters, and not engage, and get us, about halfway to the major river here, the Daugava. So let's do that. All right, you could see that we flushed them out. We pressured them and made them retreat even further. All right, so I have a fair amount of movement points, but let's get my headquarters up there. Corps headquarters. And then we have the 8th Panzer Division. Where will we commit the 8th? That would definitely force this disrupted unit. But I think there's a fresh unit under there, or one of the Soviet divisions that has retreated there. That'll keep it close. Yeah, we'll go there. That's going to put us more east than north, but that's alright. It's still getting us closer to the river. Because if not, just put me up here, and it's kind of no man's land. It's going to be a little isolated, so we're going to not go all the way up there. We'll go here. See what that brings us. Oh, good. So we can get across the Nevarisi River. So you want to stay within 5 hexes of your parent headquarters, your first line headquarters. You can see we're 1, 2, 3, so we're still blue. That means we're in command and control. We'll be resupplied as best we can from our headquarters. So if we push across the river here further, so it looks like we're going to sweep up this way as the battle is shaping up. And that is light woods, not a marsh. Won't be that penalized. Oh, look at that. I don't think I want to attack that. I think it's unnecessary, because that rifle division is going to be retreating as fast as it can to the east. So let's not waste ammo. Let's disrupt. Will that put us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That'll put us out of command and control. We'll just get on the other side of the river here and move up. And you can see as a friendly division moves through the hexes, you get ownership of it, control, so it's more or less cleared, so you don't expend as much movement factors moving through an owned hex as you would through what is enemy territory. It costs more because it's the unknown. There could be formations hiding back here that we don't know about, so that means divisions moving a little more cautiously. Yeah, you might as well go up here. That'll put us a little closer to our headquarters. If we're ending here, that really doesn't leave us many options. Just a river crossing across the breadth of the river here, or try to cross at the rail here. But more than likely there'll be some Soviets moving west to start forming a line of resistance. Plus, I don't have to move hexes because I don't have to move forward, because that will save me some fuel, save me some supplies for the next turn when we can start fresh for week 2, because these turns are a week long. I'd like to go up there with that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just such a strong urge to push as far east as you can. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I cleared that out, and we're still in supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we're blue. That's good. And yeah, all my infantry divisions up here have fought their tails off, so they don't have much more to contribute to the fight right now. So if we look at it, week 1, we are 7 days into it. When this turn will end, is we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 130 miles into enemy territory on the first week. Not bad. But this Panzer Division is terribly isolated. But I'm using a little 2020 because I know there's really not going to be... the Russians really can't mount any kind of counterattack. And isolating and picking off Panzer divisions, these very early turns, don't happen. What's more, their command and control is completely disrupted. Formations are shattered. There's a lot of retreating units heading east, coordinating to take on a fresh, well-commanded Panzer division. It's not in the cards the first turn. So I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm just going to leave that Panzer division right there. All right. We have now the 39th Panzer Corps with a, what does it 39th have? So we can look. It has the 7th Panzer Division, 20th, 14th, and 20th. 4 wonderful 2 Panzer Divisions and 2 motorized divisions. It's a lot of power, a lot of combat power. Where do we project it? Alright, click off of here. They are going to race along this way to Minsk. And infantry did a great job, disrupted a lot of formations, but they're still in the backfield here. There's going to be some isolated Soviet divisions that are going to get in the way, and you have to attack them. You can't go around them because you're going to be expending movement factors, and you want to have it cleared out to some extent. All right, so let's start. I was just thinking right now, because I could commit them north to help out, because I did strip that one Panzer Corps to go south. Alright, these guys are definitely going along the corridor, so we will march on with these guys, which will be the 57th Panzer Corps. And we'll start with the 18th Motorized. Let's get cracking. So far, so good. This marsh here. Light woods, light woods. I don't want to end up here to fight. We'll get on the other side. Oh, okay. Turns out. See, we thought it was a stronger division than it might have been, but it looks like it's a little rough around the edges, so let's do... We're going to do a hasty. Ouch. Held. That's not good. Alright. Gotta do it. Took a gamble. Just gotta clear a little, make a little bit more of a better corridor. We may come back and do a hasty, but let's get the other divisions up here. Yeah, let's do that. Wonder what's that's gonna be. Aha. Sometimes when you overrun headquarters, you get fuel and supplies. So far, nothing. Or if you enter one of these smaller towns, as you come up here and you click on it, it gives you some indication of like manpower and if it has any other resources. But nothing was stockpiled there, so we didn't get anything. Alright. Still got 15 to there. If we bring our last Panzer, if we bring the 19th up with the 12th, we can get a buddy system here, and not going to take Minsk on turn 1, but we can get pretty close. And I don't believe... I'm gambling that these, whatever formations are in here for the Soviets, they're not going to go north and try and seal off my little corridor. They're going to go east. So let's get our headquarters up here. And all right, doing it. You can see all that lovely fuel getting burned up. It was oversupply. It had stockpiles falling out of its ears, but we still have 104, and that's not going to last very long. It's going to, unfortunately, in the next couple of weeks, it's going to dip down. We won't ever achieve the incredible supply that they had on the first week of the war. It's unfortunate, but oh well. Now I don't want to go here. They're going to retreat probably into us. And alright, we're going to commit this. We'll commit the 39th to the attack to seal off the salient here rather than committing it to go north. So the 56th Panzer Corps, you're on your own. Yeah. Alright, so click back here, organize my thoughts a little bit more. There's armor reported here, so let's go check it out. Oh, that was we didn't see that until we moved into this hex. I'm not going to attack right now. Let's bring in the other. We'll bring in the 20th. Yep, 20th will be the seal up. Maybe right there. Or I could disrupt and maybe get some fuel. Sure. Hey, 3 tons of supply and 12 tons of fuel. Excellent. Alright, we got a little bit. A very thin inner line for the inner part of the encirclement. Alright, we do have another motorized, 14th motorized. Come up with your battle buddies and go here. They're really not in a position. Well, let's see if that's a headquarters or something we can take advantage of. Alright. More units revealed. Not attacking though. That's two, well, a border regiment and a fresh rifle division. And best we could get off is maybe, yeah, we could get one deliberate attack off, and I don't think it's worth it to expend ammo and supplies. We could get rid of this nuisance, which we will. Just get out of its way. They surrendered. Alright, that's good. And we want to make sure we get our headquarters. Let's get these. 20th Panzer will go next. I gotta move next to Villainous. Ooh. Oh, excellent. That is great news. We have to hold that. Unfortunately, I really don't want to hold it with a Panzer division, but hey, it'll be well rested, and it can contribute next turn with all that fuel and ammo and supplies. So we got to get a headquarters to make sure somewhere that we're somewhere in here, so that we're 5 hexes to the northernmost division and the southernmost. I don't want to leave my headquarters alone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Morgon is where we're going to put the 7th. I said right there, right? Morgon. There we go. Yep, 2 Panzer divisions that are not going to fight, but they used up fuel, a lot of ammo, a lot of supplies. That's alright. Alright, that takes care of all the Panzer Corps that we had in Army Group North and Army Group Center here. Alright, so I'm going to do some more moves off camera. Mostly a lot of shifting around and the initial attacks here. And I will come back on camera when we start to commit the Panzer divisions and anything else that seems notable. I'll unpause the recording so we can capture that. And I'll be back. Well, I think we're going to have to call it here. This turn has taken longer than I expected. I've gone into the game details more than I anticipated and talked more planning than I anticipated. So moving forward, we'll do a lot more of the move off camera, and we'll make sure that we capture the more important actions that are taking place. And we haven't even executed the Soviets' turn, and that can process for quite a while. And we will record that, and we'll make edits to show some important aspects of their turn, how it's affecting us, some of their successes, and how we've fared against them when they execute their turn. So this is where we'll stop, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. This is First Fire non-assault move out.